Cyberpunk 2077 is a great game that was masked with bugs and broken promises, but now the bugs are mostly fixed. Although that sounds cynical, I really do like this game. In fact, it's my second favorite game of all time. When it got delayed for a third time from November to December, I knew the game wasn't going to be complete, or at least not full of glitches. There was no way they would delay a game another month after confirming numerous times that it would not be delayed again, unless the game was a complete mess. And the fact that reviewers couldn't show footage of the game before it came out is a whole other level of suspicious, as well as the fact that reviewers couldn't review the last-gen console versions of the game. But I played on PC, and I can handle bugs if they aren't game-breaking. The only game-breaking bugs I had were after loading the same save for the 1000th time to try to make a specific order of choices or to try to stealth a mission without getting caught. But by that point, my previous saves were a minute apart, and it was partially my fault for reloading the same save so many times, so it didn't really bother me. Anyway, Cyberpunk 2077 is getting a renewed interest in the gaming sphere because of the Netflix Cyberpunk Edgerunners show. Now, I haven't watched it, and I honestly don't plan on watching it, but I've heard, most notably from Monkey Wrench, that it's good. And I am all for this newfound appreciation on, in my opinion, a great game. Now, is Cyberpunk perfect? Definitely not. Does it have enough flaws to make some people simply not like the game? Definitely. But most of them, at least, realize its full potential, even though even the most diehard fans, unless they really are just mindless fanboys, admit that it doesn't reach it. Does it have enough flaws to make me not like the game? I literally said earlier in the video that it's my second favorite game of all time, so obviously not. Now, would I like the game even more if it didn't have as many flaws and broken promises as it does? Most definitely. In fact, until it got delayed for the third and final time, I really thought that it would be my favorite game of all time, and for all the time to come. Now, I literally reinstalled the game just to record footage for this video, and I played the side mission related to the show. It's nothing groundbreaking, but from what I know about the show, I think it ties in nicely. Now, it technically does spoil the fate of one of the show's characters, but if you know anything about this genre, you would know that that's where the story was headed. Now, I didn't record that footage because it just didn't seem interesting, because there was a video that could probably get copyright claims, and other than that, it was mostly texting. But I did record the reward I got at the end. Now, believe it or not, my game is actually more glitchy after the patches, but I think that's mostly because all of my saves are from the previous patch 4 months prior, and they all originate from the launch day patch because I started playing this game on day 1. So if I were to start a new save, it would probably be less buggy than before, but probably still a little bit buggy if I'm being honest. Now, if you're wondering if you should get the game, and you for some reason want my opinion, definitely when it goes on sale. It's like, what, $30 on sale? You might as well wait, because otherwise you'd be spending $60. Is it worth $60? Yes, but you might as well just wait. The game will probably get in even better shape by then anyway. Now, where it's good, it's great. But where it's not great, it's just not great. The gunplay could be better, and I wish your choices had more of an impact, but they have more of an impact than GTA 5, and that's my favorite game of all time, so it's more that CD Projekt Red misled us than anything in that regard. I also think the story's on the shorter side. It's not too short, but I wish it was more like at least GTA 5's length instead of a third less. But during the story missions, and honestly the side quests, not the side gigs though, those are mostly repetitive, I really enjoyed it and honestly wished it would have never ended. I honestly think those might be my favorite story missions in a video game, but I haven't played The Witcher 3, so that might eventually change. And it's not even that I necessarily think they were better written than a game like Red Dead Redemption 2. It's more that I like the kinds of questions they ask than anything. Because I like the introspective aspect of games and story in games and the true meaning of what it means to be human and the questions Cyberpunk asks. Now, it doesn't fully ask, and a lot of more complex mediums that have more of a way to express this idea, like movies and TV shows, are better in this regard. But I do think that it was beneficial and it intrigued me as a part of the game's aspect. Now, is it better that it is a good story without fluff, rather than it being twice the length with fluff? Yes, but The Witcher 3 apparently didn't have fluff, and it was almost twice the length of Cyberpunk. Another thing I'm not a big fan of is the fact that enemies take so long to destroy. I know that it's part of being an RPG, but that's not a normal part of a first-person shooter, and I would personally rather be a little more in line with games like GTA 5 in that regard. But I understand why they didn't have it full-on GTA 5. I just wish that the enemies didn't feel so much like bullet sponges, but I could understand if that would not be so feasible in regards to the game that CD Projekt Red wanted and the game that it would be best to be. So I'm willing to lay back on that criticism if all of the other criticisms I had were made up for, but that's unlikely to happen, even though I still think, as I said earlier, that it's a good game. But that's the thing, other games do what Cyberpunk does better. Cyberpunk is a jack of all trades, but a master of none. GTA has a better driving and police system, Red Dead Redemption 2 has better NPCs, and The Witcher apparently has a better story and better choices. And the only reason I say apparently here is because I honestly haven't played it, but I've heard great things about the game, and I'd be surprised if what I heard is not accurate because of how many people I've heard it from. And the only reason I haven't played The Witcher 3 yet is that I can't get myself to finish playing The Witcher 1 because of the less than stellar graphics and gameplay. Mostly gameplay, even though I do care more than I should about graphics in general. And I want to get as much of the story as I can by playing all the games. I honestly hope that my criticisms don't deter you from getting the game, but I just think it's important to know that it's far from perfect. And I'm honestly looking forward to the Phantom Liberty DLC, and I'll probably pre-order it whenever I get the chance to. Now, CD Projekt Red also announced their plans for upcoming games, which includes a new Cyberpunk, Project Orion. I honestly don't know how good it will be, but I hope it will be better, both from a bug and gameplay / story standpoint than Cyberpunk 2077. I probably won't pre-order it just because I want to know the state of the game before I spend $60 on a brand new game, especially when I have so many games in my back catalog on Steam alone. There's also going to be a future installment to the Witcher series, Polaris, which will start this whole 6-year cycle of new games, which includes Cyberpunk Orion. They're going to make 2 more mainline Witcher games after this one, and 2 disconnected Witcher games, one of which is going to be for a far more casual audience, serious, with multiplayer being a focus on top of single player. This one is made by a different company. The other one, Canis Majoris, which will be developed from an external studio who worked on previous Witcher games, will be more within the general style of CD Projekt Red's games. They also have a third completely new IP, Hadar, which we know nothing about yet. I'll link the Twitter thread in the description so you can know more about these. I think this newfound appreciation for Cyberpunk is warranted, even if I don't think CD Projekt Red themselves necessarily deserve it. But I do think that we should at least give them the opportunity to try to make up for their past mistakes, because I don't think that anyone is beyond redemption, at least in this regard. But I honestly think you should get the game, and I'm hopeful for the future of CD Projekt Red and gaming in general. I hope you enjoyed this video. See you next time.